Hi, Shahida.
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad that we're able to
Try the same.
finally, finally get some content out to our folks who've been waiting since yesterday for this content. So,
Riverside would not let us be great.
no,
We recorded Sunday. We recorded yesterday, midday yesterday, while somebody was at work. Midday yesterday, and then now we're trying on YouTube this time. So
hmm
I'm just getting home. I was at my grandson's basketball game and they played in Situate and they won by I think like 4, but it went into overtime, so it was stressful.
that's what's up. I love that. How
Yeah.
did it go into like double, triple overtime?
No, just one overtime, girl. I looked at my watch and my heartbeat was 108 and I'm sitting
Oh
down. So it was
man.
up. I was stressed. I was
That's
stressed.
good for a high
Mhm,
school game. That means that they're bringing the heat. They're
mhm.
competing.
So that was the junior varsity game, and then he played the varsity game, and I was like, I cannot stay for the whole varsity. So he just called me, but I had brought them all pizza earlier today. Um,
Oh.
I said, let me do something special for these boys. I feel like they don't get enough love.
No, that's so cool. And it honestly, like food means so much when you're doing sports, be it like,
Mhm,
soccer and you get the orange slices out, or you do pizza
mhm.
after a game, whether you win or lose, food is always like, is something that can be appreciated.
And it's like one of those things where I was gonna bring him because he asked me to bring him something. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring you what you want. But then I'm like, I am that person that if there are other kids, I gotta feed them too.
Of course.
Adults, fuck y'all. No,
The
but
adults, I'm sure, appreciate you feeding their kids too.
when it's
So
other kids, even if it's like we're at the basketball court and he's like, "Oh, can you go get me a Gatorade?" and he's playing another kid, I'm bringing Gatorade and stuff for them too. I
you
just
gotta
can't do
bring a
it.
case
Can't
because
do
you
it.
you like your CVS VIP. So all you got to do is pull up to CVS
I
because you
am.
got all the
I
the
am.
extra care package and everything. You got the up stuff. So you probably just be getting all kind of points when
I have crazy points at CVS. Let me tell you something. I know we just off on a tangent today. But when I do go to CVS, like get vitamins and stuff like that, I'm
Mhm,
getting like, I mean, granted, CVS does have like the good sales when it comes to buy one, get one free, usually, right?
mhm.
But then I have like the points for like, mascara and makeup and then, toilet paper. I'm walking out of there with like 6 things of vitamins, then some toilet paper, and I'm spending like $12.
See,
I make out.
the queen of savings, and how we have some folks joining us for live. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. This is
Mhm.
our first YouTube live, so we truly appreciate all of y'all showing up for us because we've been having tech issues with our regular streamer for podcasting. So we were like, hey, we're going to come through and give you some live content. So, yes, yes.
And at
Toot
least
toot.
just say what we up to today.
What are we up to today?
Uh, Okay, one of the things that we did want to talk about, and I mentioned to Tracy a couple of days ago, a friend of mine who I actually met on Twitter, like in 2016. So basically, it was an online friendship, and we all developed this online friendship. It was 6 of us, and one of them just passed away on Thursday. She had
Mhm.
cancer and she didn't tell the group. Now, this is a group that we talk like at least 3, 4 times a week. Usually it's every day, like a text will come through from, one or the other. And how we all started talking was, politics, of course. 2016, we were on Twitter, and then this one particular woman, her name is Zanetta. She was just like, "Oh, let's do our own DM sometimes so we can like
Mm.
go off and talk amongst ourselves because sisters got to have their little private chats."
Yeah.
So she was instrumental in getting us all together there. And then when Elon bought Twitter, I was one of the first ones like, I'm not gonna be on here. What's your email addresses? And then she all got us in there together and got everybody's email messages, and we were called Twit Sisters. That was my handle for them. So Zanetta passed away on
Mhm.
Thursday, and her daughter called me on Saturday, and she said, I know how much this group meant to my mom, and I wanted to reach out to some of you because, to let you know that if you don't hear from her going forward, that she passed away. And the first thing that when I first saw her number and I knew who it was, I was like, oh, they're probably planning like a surprise birthday party or something for her.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I'm gonna go because she's in San Francisco, and I'm like, I'm gonna go, and finally, because we had said that we would meet up a couple of times, and that just never happened. But when she told me that, it just broke my heart and then it's one of those things that this is a person I haven't physically met, but was very close to, and Tracy and I were saying how literally we met online. That's how
Yeah.
we formed. I mean, you tell the story about how we met online because I've
So
been
to
talking.
to my recollection, it was this is like late 90s, early 2000s
Yeah. I
approximately.
want to say, yeah, because it was definitely before, what was it? The before 2000. It was definitely before 2000.
It was yeah, because that was like the big Y2K. That's a whole other
That's
thing.
what I was trying to think
Some
of.
people on this live might not have even been, they might not have even been a glimmer in their mama's eye back
Hmm.
then. But so we're talking a long time ago because we're talking 26, plus years ago. But we were in a group called Black Boston Online, BBO. And before there was a Facebook, before Facebook was popular, or there were platforms like, X and Instagram, we had this email thread, believe it or not. It was just
They're called message groups.
a huge, right. It was like chat
Hmm.
rooms. It was like
Hmm.
basically a chat room that operated through your email, essentially.
Hmm.
So you could email the entire group and it would go through, like, it was just a long ass thread.
No, it would be a message board. That's
Was
what
it a
they instead of
board?
it was a message board. You'd go on the board and then you put in your topic or whatever you were
Okay.
talking about, and then everything. It wouldn't be in your email. You'd log into the board. So and
Okay.
somebody
I'm
actually
forgetting.
paid for.
I'm
I was there
forgetting.
because it was like forever ago. Because that was the first one I ever was on, and then there was a guy George,
Yes.
right? So he was on it, and I still talk to him too. So he's on it.
Wow.
But he was from New Jersey.
Yeah, there were people from all over, and we met on there and did not know each other. And then
Mhm,
because Boston, where we're both from, is so small, we ended up having a lot of mutuals. And then we ended up
mhm,
coming together in real life and becoming a part of a book club
mhm.
together. And that's how we first met in real life. But our very first meeting at the Cheesecake Factory in 2001,
Yes, I remember that.
like,
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know I was pregnant at the time. It was our very
Mhm,
first meeting, Martin
mhm,
Luther King Day, 2001. We had only talked online. We hadn't even seen photos of each other. We didn't know what anybody looked like. And
mm-mm,
we just were like, we're gonna meet at this one place. It was orchestrated by Natasha Mason Walker, who was the one who spearheaded that book club that was eventually named Queens Literary Collective, or
mhm.
QLC. And that was just so not the norm in 2001 to meet people
No,
online
yeah,
and then
yeah.
actually meet up with them in person. Like, that was not something that people did.
Yeah. So I want to shout out to some of these people who are logging in because you never know. We might all end up being like tight friends because that's just how it ends up once you start making a connection online or through, podcast or whatever, that could happen. So I'm seeing like a Taylor, Marshan, Kip.
And then, like,
Is that
think
Kipton?
about,
Hey.
yeah, Kipton, Sam, Taylor, shout out to you. Thank you for joining us. And I was just even thinking back to like, and I'm so sorry for your loss. Let me backtrack and say I'm very
Mhm.
sorry that you had to find out that way that your friend passed away. But I can understand how that kinship, that bond could be strong, even with someone that you never physically met in person. And
Mhm.
when we first started, like I said, back in those early days, that was not something that was the norm. Even online dating was so far out there. I
Yeah.
remember that a woman that I worked with around the same time, she met a man online and married him, and we thought she was insane. Like we were like, she's bugging.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
she was
Yeah.
like one of the pioneers of that time to say, I'm willing to go out on a limb, meet somebody over the internet, not only meet them, but marry this person. Yeah, that was like so far fetched.
Yeah,
Just,
that really was. I mean, I don't think well, I never did online dating, but the thing that moved me about my friends and that are like we were tight. It's crazy to say we were tight and then never met each other. And then and what we would do every once in a while is we'd have like, like these group phone calls, like just to be
mhm.
talking or whatever. But the
Yeah.
thing that just moved me so much about it is that her daughter thought enough to call because she
Yeah.
could have
She
taken it as
probably
like,
went through her phone and was like
well, no, she
notifying
said that.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she definitely did. But her thing was she talked about you all the time.
Yeah.
So the relationship was real enough that she would say, "Oh, my friend's here." Just like I talk about, like
Yeah.
conversations that I have, and I connected with somebody on Facebook not too long ago that I used to take the bus with all the time, and she's like, I miss my my bus friend," and I'm like, "We got to get together because I
Yeah.
miss my bus friends."
Yeah. And I think too that it is possible to forge these kind of relationships, virtually. That's
Mhm.
more status quo, more, run of the mill nowadays. But I'm so sorry for your group. And I hope that you all, are able to help each other through this
Mhm.
because it's difficult. I mean, you recently lost like co-workers from your
Mhm.
job, which is another thing. It's like they're not family, they're not necessarily
They're
quite
very
friends.
close, and that's my coworker. That I was devastated on that one.
Yeah, but
I
you
loved her to death.
you
But
connect with these people, you
mhm.
bond with these people, and you spend a lot of time. And if you were talking almost every day, you said, to these people, or even every week or every month, like
Mhm.
sometimes you just build these bonds and relationships that are so close that it's terrible and it's sad. And
Mhm.
I can understand sometimes people keep illnesses from you and they don't say
Yeah.
anything because, they're just private, or they're hoping that they'll get over it, or, get through it, I should say, or, whatever. So
And it takes a certain energy that you just want to have a safe place just to be have fun. And
absolutely.
and I think that probably was part of it. So yeah, it was rough. So who told me to shut up? Somebody told is
Girl, I was not even about to give that person any type of shine. Because
you telling me to shut up for?
that's what happens. You get trolls. You get trolls on social media. So
Mhm.
that's to be expected. But, it's an important topic. And I think that friendships develop in many different ways. And,
Yeah.
whether or not you see the person. And this is how sometimes people get scammed, unfortunately, because you can develop such a bond with someone without
Mhm.
meeting them. This is how
Mhm.
people can be strung along for 7, 8 years think they're in a relationship with somebody and about to get married and they never met the person. But
That is dumb though. I don't care what nobody says. I didn't seen all the movies. I didn't seen the documentaries. That is dumb. Because I do understand that you can develop feelings for the opposite sex online just from talking. And and I've met a couple of men that I was in the message board with, like, that it wasn't anything romantic, but I'm just saying I didn't, meet with them. But I'm not gonna have a 5 year like, oh, I'm not dating anybody else. I'm not gonna see anybody because I'm dating this person. And if they live in the United States, there's no reason in the world. There's no reason in the world, if they live in the same on the same continent as you, that you all don't get together. So that's
Yeah, the,
stupid.
the the digital D would not be doing it for me. I would need some real stuff in my life.
Mm,
But
mm,
I
mm.
a friend, a platonic relationship, fine. We can go 7, 8 years,
Mhm,
10,
mhm.
a decade,
And
whatever,
I am never giving you money
and that's fine. Now let
ever.
me ask you this: this group, this friend group, do you all ever do like WhatsApp video? Do you do FaceTime? Have you ever done videos with each
We
other?
have done videos and like, we've always and it's so crazy because like we shared picture just shared pictures of my little, new grandbaby. Look what
Mm,
happened to me this weekend. So we've had shared pictures and like I said, we've had like, FaceTime videos and then
yeah.
more so calls because it's a good six of us, that are pretty consistent. But the group in all was like about 9 women, but six that were
Um,
like very consistent.
yeah. And I know during the pandemic, that definitely grew those virtual
Mhm.
group chats and things like that. I would meet people in Clubhouse, or I remember even when we had to do Afrotech, which is a huge conference that happens for Black people in technology. Afrotech had to go virtual, and it actually
Mhm.
went
Oh
into
yeah, I remember
the
that.
metaverse. So we
Mhm.
had like our own character people walking around the Afroverse and like interacting each other. We would go to the club. Our little character would meet
Oh, yeah,
other
I remember that.
people at the club. We were dancing, and then we would learn how to do like different things with our emoji. And we would be, I actually was in a group chat with women there, and we were
Mhm.
like, next year we're gonna come together. We even did an all white party in the metaverse. It was
Mhm.
crazy because we changed our little outfits. We're like, I'm going to change, girl, and then I'm going to come back to the club later.
But you know what? And and I know COVID was one of the most horrible things to happen to the planet, but it
Hmm.
also was one of the coolest periods that we definitely became very creative with.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our girl Robbie and her
Yes.
COVID dates.
I mean, she did have a whole like COVID relationship where they would pull up in their vehicles and not be able to have like close contact because we were so terrified of catching COVID from other people that she would have a drive-in date, two
Mhm.
cars, and then look, 6 years later, here we are, and the relationship is thriving. They're such a great
Mhm.
couple. So we've definitely had to get creative. Technology has afforded us like some really cool ways to bond with each other still.
And I actually do miss some of that. I know some of the things still go on, like some of like the DJ parties and stuff, and people would be all in it,
Oh,
but it's
Club
not the
Quarantine?
same, huh?
Club Quarantine was
Yeah,
the
but it's
shit.
not the same now.
No.
But it definitely was very fun back then. It was, and I like I said, it was a horrible time in one way, but in another way, it was actually very creative and very fun.
Yeah, and we were really able to get lit. But yeah, I think that too, and this is for virtual friendships and like in-person friendships. I was part of a group chat where one of our members, actually the person who kind of also spearheaded our group chat, passed away. And we still, connect with each other, wish each other happy holidays in that chat and things like that. And our plan is to do something to commemorate this, group member who passed away, because we actually would like to do a scholarship in her name. That's something that we've been discussing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she had gone back to school as an adult for criminal justice, and she really wanted to, make an impact in the world of criminal justice. And I was thinking maybe a scholarship for a high school kid moving on into
Mhm.
that major would be a nice scholarship. And, if we all get together, eight, nine of us, and we put $100 in or
Mhm.
$125 in, that's $1,000 that might
Yeah.
help them buy a laptop or some
Mhm.
books or something like that.
Yeah,
So
I think
some
they set up something like that for Zanetta too, that we all said that we would, donate to in her name. That's
yeah, a
awesome.
beautiful tribute would,
Mhm.
would be nice. So yeah.
It's crazy that the connections you made, but that is what's good and one of the things I said I wanted to concentrate more on is making connections more in my own community, specifically my neighborhood.
Yeah.
A lot of my neighbors are older, and many of them have passed away. So there are young people coming in, which is good. So that, changes it a little bit. But how often do you just like go and actually have a conversation with your neighbor? And my daughter
Mm.
says she did that not too long ago. There was a neighbor that we've known for like no, hi, and that's it. But she said
Mhm.
she's never stopped and talked to him. And she stopped one day and said, you know what? I'm gonna just turn around and go back and just have a conversation. And she said
Oh,
they talked and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you learn from the babes. I'm gonna do the same thing. Like,
yeah.
talk to the neighbors, not always just a hi and bye, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like usually my interaction with my neighbors, which is so, different than back in the day, is like if I get their mail, I'll bring it over to them or something
Mhm.
like that. And if especially if it looks like it's one time it looked like it was a check, honey. And I was like, let me ring this doorbell because I need them to have this
Mhm.
check in their hand because I expect them to do the same. If you see a check from me come to
Mhm.
your house, I need you to ring
Mhm.
on that, lean on that doorbell till I come outside.
Mhm.
So, in also the snow, we've gotten record amounts of snow this winter in
Mhm.
Rhode Island. Our neighbors were doing their driveway and their walk. We were doing our driveway and our walk because most of the people on our street are homeowners,
Mhm.
property owners living on their property. And so, we take pride in that. I see somebody getting their house painted. I'm like, Hmm. Can I get the number to the man that painted your house? People
Mhm.
see us getting our driveway done. They're like, who's doing your driveway? And so
Mhm.
it is a community thing because we're also helping to funnel money into local businesses.
Mhm.
People
Mhm.
landscaping, like think about you
Yeah.
gave me your landscaper's information and I was able to use him and then people see him cut in my yard and they're walking up to him in my backyard like, hey, I want my yard cut too, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Mhm.
there is something about talking to your neighbors and just sharing information because everyone, if you take pride in your home and your neighbors take pride in their home, that's great for your property value, it's great for neighborhood safety and all of that good stuff. So
Mhm. But it's great mentally for you.
yeah.
I think more on the lines of like I had one neighbor, my next door neighbor, Marjorie, she was great. She used to make us like these homemade cookies and everything. And then once she retired, and I kept saying, Marjorie, you have to go out, you have to do things or whatever. She just stayed in the house. And when she passed away,
Mm,
we were all so devastated. And
mm,
as I'm getting older too, and I'm looking at my mom going to like sewing classes and taking line dancing, and she's meeting with groups of people. So she's staying active. So is my dad. And so when I think of my neighborhood, I want to be able to sit out on my porch and have a conversation with them because it helps me mentally as well. Until I find out they're Trump supported, then it's just going to be cut off. Hopefully, we don't go there.
facts on facts. And you have a nice porch. Like you have one of those
I have two nice porches,
sitting and
front
rocking
and back.
porches.
Mhm.
My I don't even have a porch to
You
speak
have
of.
a you don't have a back porch?
No.
Oh,
It's I have a side door and I just have a few steps that goes up to my side door and then you go inside the house. I don't have a porch. And we had kind of contemplated should
mhm,
we make a deck out back? Should
mhm,
we? But I'm just like, my next home is going to have all some type of
mhm,
iteration where we can have a sitting on the porch. But growing up, like my grandparents, they had verandas. We had a wraparound veranda
mhm,
on both sides of our house, and there
mhm,
were rocking chairs on both. And I'm trying to think, did my grandfather make those rocking chairs? Because he was a carpenter. He very well might have made those rocking chairs for all I
mhm,
know. But we had two on each, at least two on each veranda. So like four. And people would come and they would sit
mhm,
and they would talk and they would
mhm.
rock and they would sit and talk and and just have community.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's just really important to get to know your neighbors and just to
Yeah.
have actual, I mean, it's great online, and I'm glad that we have that online, and I'm glad that I have that online, but I don't want to stay online. You
Yeah.
know, I want to be more social, out and about, moving my legs, moving my body. I ran 2 miles today, girl.
I saw your watch was ringed up, boo. I see it was
Oh,
ringed up.
I'm connected. Okay.
No, you tilted your wrist, and then
Oh, okay.
I was like, well, let me look at my how am I doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I'm not
Okay. So
quite closed, but I'm
yeah, I
getting there.
have two. Well, okay, my stand is not going to be closed because after this it's 9 o'clock. You know what it means when it's 9 o'clock nowadays.
For you, it's
I'm
bedtime.
counting.
For me, I'm just getting started, boo boo.
I'm going. It's the countdown. It's the countdown for me. I've been up since what time I wake. Actually, I woke up pretty late today. I woke up at 7.
Yeah, too early.
Yeah, that's 7 was a little on the late side for me, but I've started not just jumping up out of bed. There's no reason to be up at 5 o'clock if I'm not doing anything. And usually, if I'm up at 5 o'clock, I'm just scrolling and it's just bullshit. So I said, you know what? Just go back to sleep, girl.
That I love that for you. Cause anytime I open my eyes and I'm still sleepy, I'm like, let me close them and see, can I go back to sleep?
Went back and woke up around 7 o'clock, had my little, cup of coffee, and that was it. So wow, I think we could wrap up our first live.
We can wrap it up and thank you guys for bearing with us. We're trying to work through the kinks on all this
I
stuff.
know. I'm
But
so
when
mad
we
about that.
Yeah, so we're going to try to get this up for you guys and anyone who's new to us, thank you for joining. We appreciate that. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on social media on Facebook or Instagram at Little State Big Voices. We're not on any other social media right now, but
Mhm.
you can also watch episodes of our podcast, Little State Big Voices, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are heard. And don't troll us because we're not here for that.
You
We
bet your bottom. I ain't paying you no attention. But the thing is, too, we're gonna try and do a couple more lives, but participate. Ask
Yeah, we appreciate that. We
questions,
appreciate the
some
people who
things that
showed up.
you want to talk about, and this was easier than I thought setting up. So we can get some more people on. So, we'll try this again and again, just participate, ask some
We
questions.
might have to rock with this next week, sis, because I don't know
Mhm.
what our friends over at the
Riverside.
people are doing. I don't know what they doing, so we might have
No,
to do
I'm,
this
I'm
again.
gonna I made a formal complaint. I've already made a
You
formal
lodged a
complaint.
complaint. You
I
lodged-
got to. That's too much money. Too much money for it not to work.
That part, and we
And
on
obviously, we want to say maybe it was our technology, maybe it was my laptop. No, it wasn't, because other people are having the same, complaint. So it's
yeah.
not us. It's not us.
In a
And
perfect
YouTube's
world,
working fine.
take our coins and let it work. That's the
Mhm.
that's the all we're asking for is after you take our coins, let the product work.
And
That's
it
it.
was doing great for so long. It's just these last few months or so, there's been like all these kinks, and we've been having, some difficulties. But hopefully we get it all straightened out. But we have this as a backup, and we'll be back soon. So
Yes. So
till next time.
comment below, tell us about your online friendships or
Yeah.
anything that you want to share in relation to this topic. We'd love to hear more about it and see what you have to share with us.
Definitely. So I definitely can save this. We can be seen again. I'm trying to figure it out. Wait, can I name it? T-
I'm sure YouTube is
ooh,
so wicked smart.
ooh,
They
and
could
I can
definitely do
add photos to the. Okay, so I'm just messing with it right now. So
it.
we'll stop. But till next time, peace out, guys.
Peace.